Back to Skyhawk Talk live from Snappy Tomato Pizza with Coach Jason Simpson, and just hanging out here. Coach, I want to talk about one player that we've not spent a lot of time talking about this season. Thad Williams continues to play well for you.
He certainly is. Very. It's great to see. I mean, Thad's been our. When Taino went out, that put a lot of responsibility on him. I mean, he's always going to draw the best wide out, and he has to make the plays for us, and he's done that the last 2 weeks. So that's been a very a big shot in the arm for us on our defense, and so Thad's one of those guys that, as you know, his history, 2 ACL surgeries the last 2 years. I mean, he's been on this campus for almost 3 years, and this is his first full season of football he's been able to play. Great personality, great team guys, respected and liked by all of his teammates. So look forward to seeing Thad continue to get better, because we'll certainly need it.
Coach, let's look at some of the other games from the OVC this past weekend, and only 6 teams played, with 3 of the teams having the weekend off. Eastern Kentucky wins at Tennessee Tech 42-28.
Yeah, I caught the end of that game as far as the stats and on the phone, and I guess Tennessee Tech was up 28-20 going in the fourth quarter, and then just like Eastern Kentucky did to us, they found a way. And I guess quarterback 7 for 7 in the fourth quarter, and hit some big passes, some run plays, and they win kind of going away. So they're obviously very good team, as we know. That's our only blemish on our conference record. So who do they have this week?
Eastern Kentucky plays Eastern Illinois in Richmond.
Okay, so that'd be big. That'd be big. Eastern Illinois. That'd be good. Can Eastern Kentucky keep up and score with them?
And then the game, we were watching it in the press box as you were on the field coaching, but Jacksonville State wins over Tennessee State 31-28 in overtime.
And I caught that game. I taped it and watched it when I got home, and I got through the first drive in the third quarter. And Tennessee State looks like they've got the game in hand. As far as I think they're up, they've got like 300-something yards going into halftime, and I guess they're up 21-14.
I think so.
And then then Jacksonville State scores, open up the third quarter, so now it's tied, and that's kind of, I hadn't finished the game out, and I'll be watching tape all this week. But so I don't really know what happened. I know
Tennessee State missed a field goal. I think a 42-yard field goal right that would have won the game.
That would have won it, and then I know they had 2 turnovers, so that didn't help. But I mean, guys, Jacksonville State's got, from top to bottom, as they should, because of what they recruit to and the area they recruit. I mean, they're an outstanding football team. I mean, top to bottom, they've got the best players in the league. So they're a very scary team. So be interesting to see them play Murray this week as we get well and get rested. But that'll be a tough challenge for us at home.
This weekend's games: Eastern Illinois at Eastern Kentucky, Tennessee Tech at Tennessee State, Murray at Jacksonville State, like you said, Coach, and Southeast is at Austin Peay. When you look at the conference standings now, UT Martin and Eastern Kentucky sit atop the standings with 4-1 conference records and the 800 win percentage. Tennessee State and Eastern Illinois 3-1, Jacksonville State 3-2, Murray's 2-2, Southeast Missouri's 1-3, Tech winless at 0-4, and Austin Peay is at 0-5. So we're starting to see, Coach, which you always do at this point in the season, a little bit of a separation, but still you have 4 teams with 1 loss in the conference.
Right.
And that's us, Eastern Kentucky, Eastern Illinois, and Tennessee State.
Exactly. If I can get them to do it like they do in minor league baseball, the first half and the second half, then we'd be okay. But unfortunately, they don't. So no, I mean it's one of those things. Don't hide from where you are. I mean, that's what we talked about. Are we contenders or are we pretenders? Mm-hmm. And so at this point, we've proved that we're contenders. A lot of football left, like we said, but you'd much rather be at this position than be sitting there at 2-2 and got to win out in order to get back in those top 2. So I'm proud of our team up to this point, but it's certainly any program's ball game.
And even representing the Ohio Valley Conference, Eastern Kentucky 6-2, we're 6-2, and Tennessee State 7-1 overall. I think the OVC as a whole is better this year.
Well, it is, and of course, we probably can't convince anybody else, in the region that until we win a playoff game. But I'm real proud of our record at this point based on our schedule.
Right.
Memphis, Northern Illinois, Southeast Louisiana. I mean, there's no cupcakes in there, and you can say, Memphis is struggling this year, with 85 scholarships in the Liberty Bowl. So, I mean, that's always going to be a tough matchup for anybody in the OVC.
And Northern Illinois, they've lost one game since us.
Yeah. One game, so they're either 6-1 and 7-1.
Yeah.
They're leading the
MAC. They lost their game before playing us, didn't they?
To Iowa by 2.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm very proud at this point to be at that, and of course, I'd have traded the Memphis win for the EKU win, to be quite honest with you, and be be sitting here at 5-0 in the league. But you know, it is what it is, and you got a little break, like we said, as we try to get a little bit better for the next 3 weeks.
And again, I don't think you've fully reached your potential as a football team yet. And I know that's obvious, but coach, you're finding ways to win games.
Well, like I said, it goes back to the penalties, to the turnover ratio, to special teams, and I'm real proud of our coaching staff because I mean you give the players credit, but you got to give our assistant coaches credit for that as well. I mean, our kickoff team, man. I mean, you know, to pin guys inside the 20-yard line, the other opponent. I mean, now they got to go 80 yards. It's a different mindset when you get the ball handed to you at the 40-yard line. You know, Cody's starting to get his rhythm back, kicking the ball on kickoffs and field goals. You know, and so now when we're calling plays, you don't have to, you know, say, well, might as well go for it because we're struggling in the kicking game. No, you send him out there to make the kick, like we did twice this past week, and then to get a little boost from our punt return game.
Yeah,
I mean that's huge to be able to give you those short fields. And part of it is when you're good on teams like that, some of your offensive defensive numbers are down a little bit because. I remember 2 years ago, in 2010, we led the league in total defense, but yet our scoring per game was down because we'd give them the ball at the 50-yard line. They'd only have to go 50 yards to score,
right?
You know, and then you say, well, we don't give up 50 yards, yeah, but you gave up 7 points. So, you know, it's a big puzzle that you put together, and there's always some underlining statistics.
Well, an example of this, I'm going to go back to the game against Southeast Missouri. Time of possession, they have the ball 36 minutes, 18 seconds. We have it 23:42. I mean, that's part of their style. But when you look at how many total yards they had, Coach, 414 to our 320. But again, it's because of where they were on the field and how long it took them to get to where they wanted to go.
And you know, now you put those 4 turnovers on there.
Right.
Okay, and there's, you know, last year you go back and look and see, yeah, we're 437 a game. But also when you turn the ball over and you're having to play breakneck football to try to get it back down and score because you've already given up 75 yards in field position because you turned it back over, different way to call a game because you know, you've got to make those yards back up to stay in the game. And so you do it and you pat yourself on the back and you say, boy, look how many yards we got. But go look, just like we did against just like we did the week before against or 2 weeks against EIU, you say, yeah, but we had 5 sacks and we had 5 turnovers. Who cares if we got 500 yards?
One final thought. While I hold the score in my hand, the box score, Southeast Missouri, their quarterback's a pretty tough kid. He got hit pretty hard several times, and he bounced right back up every time.
Every year they seem to have a guy, a runner, and it's a runner first, and that's just their style. But they play hard. I mean,
is it hard to defend the option?
Yes, it is. I mean, it's and we did a nice job of it. He kind of got out one time. Tennessee State struggled the week before. I mean, it's harder than it is a passing game.
Yeah. Just
because there's a physical element to it, and all of a sudden each week they add a different shift, a different motion, and a DB's eyes get caught up, and all of a sudden somebody doesn't take the quarterback, and he takes off for a 25-yard gain.
Okay, we'll take a break. We'll come back and talk about the off week and a little bit about Jacksonville State when we return on the Skyhawk Sports Network.